a strong Connor, but they're no match for Gold Eyes Red Dragon.
What? No fair!
I named him Sparkles.
Before we get into it, I just wanted to show off, this is Playboy Vampire's newest comic with a favorite cast, and I figured it'd be appropriate to show it off here. Now the continuation.
So breaking news, everyone! Mr.Zarwid had just announced that the whole town is now involved in a cursed cards game.
It appears HorrorTown has no choice but to play unless they want to coexist with dragons and some disturbing creatures called Jekylls for the rest of their lives.
And most disturbing of all, Jacko, are the consequences to this game. Whoever wins will be proclaimed king of HorrorTown and rule forever!
There's a lot at stake here, Ezekiel, and I wanted to find out more about the man who announced it all. Mr. Zarwid, can you tell us where you got all that information about the game?
Yes, Mr. Zarwid. How did you know so much about it?
I don't answer questions.
That's exactly what a guilty man would say.
Hold on, Mr. Zarwid. We still have some questions for you. Mr. Zarwid! Mr. Zarwid! Wait a second. Zarwid? Zarwid. Oh my god! It's an anagram for wizard!
Are you seriously telling me you've just realized this?
What? You already knew?
Well, it was pretty obvious. I mean, well, whatever. We need to follow him and find out more about him. He seems to have some cards up his sleeves. You're a wizard. Animate the carpet ride and place the tree porter, which I've already done. Hello! Welcome back to part 2, the final of this Be Afraid special book update. And wouldn't you know it, this is going to be the last of these two-parters for now, because I have 3 more specials that I have yet to do, and they're all going to be one video, so they're going to be not as too long as the others have been as of late. So, yeah, we're back. Currently right now, as far as Goosebumps stuff goes, apparently I've been hearing rumors and mumbers that things are going on behind the scenes. Things are being a little bit more active than they should be. Now, see that as you will. I have a video up and ready to go, but I am just making sure that if the thing is true, then I'll release it. But until then, I'm just going to hold it off for now. And partially, it's going to be an update from, it'll be called September something, but it's going to be basically looking at mostly with this channel, as well as information about what this game has in store.
Whoa! What was that?
I think he just flew off on the magic carpet.
This is too much, man. The palace, the outfit, the cursed decks of cards, and now a magic carpet? After all the video games I've played, I feel like I'm finally in one.
Ironic the Monopoly man would say that.
Everything's going so well. I couldn't have done it better if I've planned it. I just knew I had to let the cards act for themselves. I'm just going to fetch the role-playing table and watch the town burn to ashes. What? You two? Here?
So it is true. You are a wizard, and you are behind all of this. You've finally shown your hand.
Oh, you messed with the wrong wizard. I've been patient with you, but that's it. I'll do whatever it takes to get you out of my way.
Let this be known that my doppelganger was the first to identify that Mr. Zarwid was the evil one. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm gonna have him do something and craft, I think, 2 items. Again, I didn't pay attention because I was in the middle of that kind of epic rant. I wouldn't call it a rant, it's more of a epic tale of telling you that such a thing has come conquest. Though I've kind of cringed though with this, because after this questline is done, we get the spoilers, and it doesn't really, it kind of jumped way too far ahead, so it did that thing again. So oh well, it's what it is, right? And yeah, so I'm just circling this up here. It's quite weird. The Emperor is now available to be crafted into the HorrorTown TV station. and the deck of cards is the one that now drops from the scene. It's weird how they switched it up, but hey, whatever. I guess it works. It works for what it is. But yeah, lots of things are going on right now. I remember somebody was talking to me, like, some ideas for games, and one of them was Dead by Daylight. Now, although I kind of look into Dead by Daylight, I never thought Dead by Daylight was kind of like, kind of would fit or anything like that. However, as of late, I know there's been kind of competitors, quote-unquote, that try to come into the space to try to be the next DBD killer, but never has. Except now there might actually be a contender, because this is like the PUBG to Fortnite, and in this case, it's VHS is what it's called. And I think the full name of it is Video Horror Society. Long story short, it's this 80s slasher that you actually play as the monster, but the twist is the teens' objection is to kill, quote-unquote, get rid of the monster. So, so far, it seems like they only have 3 killers right now, but, man, the gameplay is certainly very interesting and fun. I think the Doll Master so far seems to be the more interesting of the gameplay-wise of how he works. But, man, maybe in the future, depending on what happens, that could be something I'll look into. I mean, it is free to play, so that's one thing it has going for it. So, who knows? I mean, it's a potential. I just have to see what ends up happening. And I'm only saying that because I'm trying to figure things that would fit within the Goosebumps in worst case scenario if this doesn't come back, you know, after I'm done all this stuff. Because yeah, I got the other 2 games I'm kind of focusing on, but let's be honest, you guys are not, most of the people coming in here are watching for this particular game, and maybe just Goosebumps in general. So I want to find that kind of anthology horror for kiddies, as it were, right? So, as I have Sprinkles over here, kind of the Gold Eyes Red Dragon here doing his thing. I still can't believe he went with that name. Okay, well, you know what? I have to say I miss his work. I miss the guy's artwork. I think it's a guy, I'm not sure. I miss Vampire's artwork, okay? There you go. I miss the artwork because of the fact that it's always fun, and it's always fun to see them interact and have a laugh when I do they redub their comics in the sense and kind of show it off. And quite honestly, I feel bad because I'm sure if the game was kind of more active that they'd probably still be doing some stuff. And to be fair, they are. They've kind of started posting some things onto the Reddit forum. But occasionally, currently right now, because there's not really anything new, it's kind of hard to kind of indulge, you know, kind of get some inspiration. One thing I will say, though, is that during the downtime, I'm still seeing this channel getting active, as well as other things, too. And speaking of which, I found something interesting when it comes to YouTube. Apparently, they put an ad on the first ever video, the most popular on my channel, the cringy first ever Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough. Man, I really wish that the Invaders comes back, because I want to change that.
Jeez, what am I going to do now? HorrorTown is slipping through my fingers.
Well, hello there, Mrs. Johnson. Pleasure to see you again.
Gina? What are you doing here? How did you get in here?
Come on, Mayor. I'm a genie. Did you really think a couple bars could keep me from you? You still have 2 wishes, if you want them.
Hey, Gina's back, and there she goes. Easy come, easy go, I say.
Hey guys, come in. Let's go to my bedroom. I have something to show you. Hey Connor, cool posters. What's that Goosebumps movie? It looks scary. Oh, I know that one. It rules. Its video games totally rocks too.
Hey, what did you want to show us, Connor?
I didn't have a chance to show you yesterday. But look at the card game I found at the yard sale. Be afraid? That looks awesome, dude! I hope it's not too scary for the girls, though.
The place Connor's house, place the Headless Horseman stuff, and craft the Speaking of which, craft the Invader armor. Because, believe it or not, that was actually where the armor came from. I think I mentioned this back in the Be Afraid stuff. But yeah, the armor was originally during the Invasion of the Body Squeezers update back in September of 2018, so that's almost been 3 years now. Oof, that's a long time. But what you can do, right? Man, 3 years. Man, time flies. Man, I really want some more activities. I'm desperate, man. I need to have the horseman kind of have his ride, his steed. But, yeah, the Inception levels of mentioning Goosebumps is its own separate type of universe is quite interesting. You gotta also love the horse, by the way. You know, you got the flame. Yeah, you got the flamey guy in the head, but look at the horse, man. It kind of looks like he has dot eyes. You know, like cutesy eyes, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's one of those blinder things. I have to look at that again real close, but I'm going to assume otherwise. But vaguely, what was I talking about before the horse kind of made me forget? I don't know. It's gonna come back to me in the most awkward of times, but right. So that's been going on right now. We're still waiting on... It's funny, though. We got the Disney Plus is kind of advertising their... Streamoween, Halloween stuff is appearing in October very soon. And they just released the poster to the 8-episode long Just Beyond, which is the R.L. Stine graphic novel he was working on. And they made it into a show already, and I'm just like, they just recently made that, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, I wonder how that goes, but we have yet to see the trailer, yet the poster's there, and it wants to stream on October the 12th, so it's like, you know, maybe advertise something soon. I mean, it would be nice. Well, yeah, I gotta love this too, the fact that he's like, he disappears with the cards, right? But for some reason, when you see his body going, like, his back is facing you, the cards, like, he's holding cards, and then it's all of a sudden, yeah, like this. It's just, the cards are just floating there with him, like, look at this. I guess that's one way to find out where he is, because the dummy decides to carry cards with him. Oh, well. Yeah, I have yet to figure out what I wanted to say before this whole thing kind of blanked out here. Man, Goosebumps. What else is there? Julie and the Beast recently released as well, and from what I hear, it's actually pretty decent. That's saying something, because most of the time it seems like it's basically, oh, this story is great, I love it, and then the last chapter happens, and then it's like, well, now it's garbage. Like, that's what it's been going on, like, for a while now. So it's nice to hear that something didn't end in garbage. But I remember the story used to be something else. No, that was the 5th grade, the 5th grade zombie thing. That was something else, and then they changed it completely, so that was a disappointment. But, whatever. Julie and the Beast is pretty good, from what I hear.
What are we going to do? Slappy's won the game. He's king of HorrorTown. This can't be happening.
Oh yes, things could have come to a more perfect ending. Wait a minute. Are those... Not those TV hosts again! How did they escape Be Afraid World? That was the safest dungeon in all worlds. I have to leave before everyone else finds out.
And so HorrorTown discovered Mr.Zarwid's secret. Although I have to agree with the pumpkin boy, the anagram was pretty obvious. Hey, it was not that obvious! I guess some people can't handle their own narrative material. And I guess some people can't handle the fear of HorrorTown.
And that's it for Zarwid's story. So now it's the main story, here and through. After he spoiled everything for us, like he always does. But he's gonna get his comeuppance, I'll tell you what. I will come back after the continuation of the main.
Yeah, right. Like we'd ever be afraid of a card game. Let's try it out.
What the?
What is it?
I just thought I saw the deck of cards move. Looks like Lucy and Emily aren't the only girls around here after all. Shut up, Marty. Let's just start playing. Although I thought I heard booming noises coming from the deck last night, too.
Yeah, let's go!
So after 2 years, elections are being called in HorrorTown, and...
Hey, Corny, thanks for coming, but why don't you leave this one to us big guys?
It's Curly, and I'm not big, I'm a skeleton!
That's right, old sport. Sure. Why don't you go have a coffee at the Monster Diner? Enjoy some alone time while we cover this. Now, take it away, Ezekiel.
Hello and welcome to our HorrorTown elections debates.
We're only minutes away from the electoral debate, and the whole town is just dying to hear the candidates' proposals. Man, my character is a dink, as well as the Ezekiel guy. Obtained the monster card because I got the billboards ready to go. And yeah, I think I mentioned this before. This was taking place during Turkey Day, so just like the Monster Blood scene, you know, we get multiple things going on at the moment. I don't know what I'm doing with this. That's I'm already done covering that, so I don't need to do that no more. So out of its way. One thing I will mention is the what I found interesting revisiting back the what do you call it? The clapping my hands trying to think. And I think, yeah, okay, now I know what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to put Compton over with the Compton stuff because, you know, trying to make it look nice and, yeah, so there you go. That's what it looks like, so that's fancy. Alright, so I looked back at the Be Afraid back in September, not September, but back in, like, July of this year. And I've noticed when it came to looking at this one, is that they did change the dialogue a little slightly. Like, instead of saying that, oh, July is here and Independence Day, now it's kind of very vague. And I think, as of late, that's what they've been doing, is kind of changing the dialogue slightly to kind of fit with it being, like, its own separate thing. And one thing that I'm going to be interested is the next 3 chapters is going to be fun, because the next one I'm going to do is based off the one I worked on, so there's a lot to talk about when it comes to that one, because that was one of those most joyful things I've had, that I did. The second one is going to be both the internet as well as the Beast from the East. And what's funny about those two is that they've actually completely overhauled all of the dialogue for that. So it'll be interesting for me to talk about those, because when it comes to those particular two, those two stories, it seems like they've added a little bit more lore in there, and depending on how the situation goes for this game, I can tell you that I think I know where the story was going to go. Hopefully this game does come back fully so that we can explore these areas, but if it does come back, it may be like lowered down from where it once was, so it's not like as extravagant and big as it used to be, but it's like, oh well. But one thing I'll mention is that they've actually I did assist when it came to re-adding the dialogue for the internet thing, and try to fix some scenes to try to make it flow with everything together. And I'm quite happy with the dialogue choices, as well as kind of putting more lore within it comes to different characters and stuff. And the Thanksgiving again. Forgot the turkey buckets, man. That's gonna be a KFC Halloween promotion. Does it have that weird turkey bucket monster thing? I could swear one of those turkey places would probably sell something like that.
Public opinion is torn between the Healthy Safety Party, with Ramon and Dr. Kim as leaders, and Will Blake and Courtney King's the Monster Human Recolonization Party.
Even though Ramon's approval ratings during her mayoral service were pretty high, Blake's and King's slogan, "A Unified HorrorTown," seems to appeal to both humans and monsters.
Let's see what the townspeople have to say. Excuse me, sir. You, with the funny hairstyle. What do you think about the improvements in the security proposal by candidate Ramon? I think it's unconstitutional to try to limit people's freedoms like that. I'm simply shocked that someone would ever even suggest restricting and creating new creatures. That's very interesting, sir. How about you, ma'am? What's your take on Katniss Yvonne's project for a reform on the educational system to include more material on feminism?
Children should learn from a young age that gender stereotypes hurt women, more so in a town with monsters. I used to hide my monstrous identity because men told me it wasn't ladylike.
Man, what is it with the Ellie when it comes to the warning labels, man? Like, seriously. I mean, I'm going to pretend as if that whole thing didn't happen. Oh, yeah, and then this happened, because I didn't buy the bundle yet, I guess. And the last question for the debate is, after the incident with Mayor Johnson, the town's biggest concern is reliability. How can you ensure that something similar won't happen to you?
As ladies from the underworld, we suffered tyranny. It usually came from men. Men like the Terrifer and all the male vampires. As victims, we would never become tyrants ourselves.
What triggered Mayor Johnson's outrage was the stress provoked by constant chaos. Captain and I are confident that with our full-on economic reform, this situation won't repeat itself.
Well, as a man of science, I never let feelings get in my way. In regard to my colleague, you all know that Theo takes even chaotic humorously, so rage shouldn't be an issue with us.
Will and I based our campaigns on ideas of peaceful cooperation between monsters and humans, and we live by that principle. We certainly see peace at the bedrock of our proposal.
As an officer of the law myself, I don't need to give you empty promises of peace like the ones you've just heard. You've seen me bring it to your lives on a daily basis.
This is the event that made me hate Ramon with a passion. It's like, man, I wish they had more development on these characters. Now I regret it. Maybe we shouldn't develop the other two. You know, God forbid we do, because then it might ruin the whole experience as a whole. But I don't know. Maybe that's exactly what we want to do. Who knows? Right. And by the way, I want to correct myself back there. Apparently, no, I did buy the event because or I bought the book because if I hadn't, then I wouldn't have gotten far because I needed the crafting station, which is only exclusive to the bundle. So, yeah, I don't know where the book is. Oh, you know what it is? Here's what I think is happening. I think they are they must have been bringing it back once it's kind of fixed properly, but I don't know. I'm coming back into this every so often, like, not constantly. Does hurt my damn it, sleepiness with my chance of remembering exactly what was going on. You know, coming back to a project after months has passed and weeks have passed from your last initial video doesn't help matters of trying to kind of consistently view things as a whole. It will be very awkward too, by the way, when you're watching this in a playlist, when you go from part 1 and then go to part 2 and it's completely like things have changed time-wise, trying to keep it consistent. But the randomness behind this channel and my videos says differently, especially since I've changed my branding of the channel a bit by making it a little bit more fitting with the theme as far as I go, and just random stuff there. But I put the slogan making weird videos since 2016, which technically is true. I've been doing video stuff for like 5 years now, and it's only been 3 years since I've started doing this. So yeah, and we got a quick glimpse of showing you where I've actually fixed this area here. So now you get to see where I put the HorrorTown thing. Oh yeah, and I forgot that they've actually made the phone booths drop these now, so I might as well turn this on to help me with this quest. And then remember to turn it back off, because I don't want to collect all these stuff after the fact, because, you know.
Thank you, candidates, for all your answers. I hereby conclude the electoral debate.
Everyone, wait a second! What are you doing here, Johnson? It's Mayor Johnson. I've been freed from jail, so you can just call off the elections. But the fact that you were released doesn't change the town's disconnect with your actions. Calm down, Officer Ramon. It's true that the elections were a decision on the whole town, but we should at least give Mayor the chance to run too, right?
Did the mayor use her second wish? Who knows? Hello again. After yesterday's eventful debate, and with former Mayor Johnson as a last-minute candidate, it's now election days, and some neighbors are already lining up to vote.
And what a day we've had since the debate. In the past few hours, we've seen some extremely strange creatures around town. Nothing more exciting for two horror enthusiasts like Jacko and myself. We have a couple of neighbors here who will tell us more about it.
Yesterday I was going home after the debate and suddenly I felt really hot. Then I saw a dragon breathing down my neck. I thought I was going crazy, but then Professor Shock...
I saw it too. There are some very strange blue creatures running around town, terrorizing the citizens.
We haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but I think we all noticed that none of this was happening when former Mayor Johnson was still in jail.
And the hatred begins with her. Well, no, it's been for a while, but yeah, I already put the tree down. I thought that was one of the quest things, but I guess do it again just in case. Have good old go into the Be Afraid world. I guess it's in the portal of a tree that looks like something that belongs in Zelda. I guess that must have been what they based that tree mouth from. I mean, I would be surprised if it's anything but that. But let's see here. Right. So, crafting some stuff, playing things going through, and the narrative is getting a little bit more wonky as we go on. And we're going to pretend as if the Thanksgiving chicken update is not happening during this time because, you know, we like to play pretend after all. Alright, so let's have Sparkles do what he normally does, which is just breathe his fire and show off. For some reason, it reminds me of the one I joke about this, where it's just like, well, maybe he's not doing it like out of like being evil. Maybe it's just something funny. And I know this is a meme with whole Rick and Morty. You gotta be smart in order to watch it. But I think the later seasons, there's this segment where like they always have this end gag, and one of the end gags is just talking about these monster creatures, where they're like, all right, we need to tell these humans how to cure cancer, right? And it's just like, we don't know, right? Like, you might end up not talking normally, or, you know, your clothes might disappear, but that's the sacrifice we're willing to make, right? So then you have these giant monsters screaming at people while they're shooting at them. All they're trying to do is like, oh, listen, you need 1 cup lemon. So I can only imagine, maybe this is what the dragon's doing. Maybe he's just trying to make friends, but everyone's viewing it as, oh no, he's trying to burn me, right? Maybe fire is just a way of saying hi. You don't know. You know, not a lot of people know dragons, so maybe that's what they do. Maybe. Awkward silence there. But, yeah, lots of things going on. But let's go ahead and continue this and talk later after we're done.
Connor, did you hear that? We can't let Mayor Johnson take the blame. It's unethical.
What's unethical?
Not now, Dustin. This is important. We have to tell them it's our fault, Connor.
I don't want to. Everyone's gonna hate me. I don't want to be an outcast like that Zeke kid. I think it's better to keep quiet. I like trouble, but this is too much. I don't want to get grounded. Besides, nobody will ever suspect us. There are lots of freaks to blame. Oh no, Mr. Zarwid's making an announcement. He's gonna rat us out, I'm sure.
What's a paladin? The question of all ages.
I can't believe what Zarwid had just said. An enchanted game? This is too much, even for HorrorTown. Everyone calm down. Zarwid, how can we fix this? How can we get rid of these monsters? Hold on a minute there, Mrs. Johnson. I'm the acting mayor right now. I should be the one telling people to calm down and asking the questions.
Ladies, calm down. Since everyone in town is now part of the game, the only thing to do now is play to win.
Alright, play to win. To have Eric do exploring the dungeon, and then we'll be done. What's funny about this is the fact that I think I'm already getting close to being done with this, so let's go ahead and have him do that. And yeah, speaking of fantasy and stuff, recently one of the games I played before I made my change back in, I think, 2019 was well, like, there was Hat in Time, but the other game I played was Deltarune, I think, which is the sequel to Undertale. And what's interesting about that is that recently, just today, well, considering Friday, so by the time you see this, it's already Saturday, they released the second chapter and revealed that there will be 7 chapters in total for the game, so quite ambitious, and it'd be interesting to look into that, but I wouldn't probably do a gameplay of it, just more or less on the sideline without this channel, but who knows?
What do you mean, play to win? How can we win the game?
Well, Be Afraid is completed when someone is proclaimed king.
Oh, yes, yes, finally, my opportunity.
But what happens if we don't finish the game? Then the creatures that have been unleashed from Be Afraid world will remain in HorrorTown forever. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll have to go home and get a role-playing table for this.
I mentioned the Deltarune thing because it's the fantasy, you know.
Okay, everyone sit around the table. It's time to start playing Be Afraid. I should warn you, though, when you roll the dice, anything can happen.
Hey, where are those new TV hosts? Surik, Squeal, and Jacko. They're missing.
I don't... it doesn't matter.
Oh my god, they must have been eaten by the dragon! I can't believe this is happening already!
Calm down, kid, calm down. We don't know if that's what happened. Let's just start playing before something else happens. I hope Mrs. Stark didn't notice how nervous I got. I wouldn't want to show my hands here.
Who's the big girlie now, huh? Marty. Got to get those rings, man. Rick and Morty. Marty. You know what's funny? You could do a Rick and Morty joke now, because we got our own Rick Sanchez in the name of Dr. Brownstein. I mean, he looks like one. He looks like a Doc Brown ripoff. So why not? Although I know what his inspiration's from, but yeah.
Countess Courtney, it is your turn since you're sitting next to Connor.
Okay. It's a riddle.
On the horse I dare swiftly ride, with flaming pumpkin by my side. Who am I?
Ah! What's that? I'm afraid you freed the Headless Horseman. We better keep playing to finish this as soon as possible. Oh my, I've missed chaos so much.
Man, I still really don't like how Zarwid says it like that. It says, ugh.
Congratulations, Mayor. You've enabled the final task. Now all you have to find the dungeon tower and throw the dice to break the curse protecting the crown.
Come on, Zeke. We have to run and get the crown before everything's ruined forever.
Hurry, Connor. If we kids get to rule this town, we can close school forever. Hold on, Marty. Look at that book. What is that? Who cares? Who'd want a book? Hey, it's called Be Afraid. Like the game.
It's probably the rule book in order to how to play the game. Probably a big encyclopedia. I still remember the book is supposed to be like, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Except it's like Dungeons and Dragons and on cards. I think. Yeah. Again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was coming. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Became popular. I still recall looking at. I remember finding out Yu-Gi-Oh! Was entirely something different before it became what we all know and love by Konami. But oh yeah, and the books came back, by the way. But my goodness. If you ever seen what the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, it's like, damn. Yugi was really like playing the Jigsaw game. He was like, normally the Shadow Realm was something that you wouldn't want to do because it was like an end game type of thing, and like Yugi's ancient Egypt counterpart knew that. He was like, oh, I don't want to do this unless, you know, we really, like, we get forced into it kind of deal, right? And he's not the one who always calls it. But no, like, OG, like the original, like, Part 0, man, that guy, he would just keep on doing it every chance he gets. And it's like, Again, if you're brave enough, go look it up. The Yu-Gi-Oh! First, like Season 0, and see the masterpiece of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to be. And by the way, the whole screw the rules, I have green hair bit, that's where the green hair came from. Originally, Kaiba was like this green hair looking character, and then they decided to at some point change to be like, hey, no, you know what, let's make this a commercial, like, instead of making it like for like edgy teenagers, let's make this into like something good for like kids. Think of it like my channel, right? It starts off when you watch parts like the first of the Invasion of Body Squeezers, and see how I've just kind of let loose with my tongue with like a sailor. I still kind of do now, but I try to watch out for that. And kind of continue with that. Also, by the way, fun fact, as I mentioned before, they've kind of put ads on that video, despite the fact I swore, so...
Thank you so much, boy! You set us free!
What the... How did you come out of that book?
We followed Mr.Zarwid because he looked suspicious, and he trapped us in the strange, parallel world full of monsters.
That's where all the monsters must be coming from. But if the game's not over, which is the end of the book... maybe you'll tell me what's going to happen when all of this is over. That's weird. It says you finished the story. Come on, Connor. Hurry. We still have to win the game.
A parallel world full of monsters. That sounds like... what's the difference between that and this area? I mean, this whole place is full of monsters. Oh yeah, by the way, you've completed the book. So yay! Now we can get the horror throne. And get the prize, so, well, I guess there's still a story, right?
Yes! The dungeon tower! We're the first ones here! It's not too late yet.
Go on, Mom. Throw the dice to break the curse so you can take the crown.
Oh no! Mayor Johnson is here already! She'll take the crown! Hold on a second. Someone's coming out of the tower. Is that?
Good evening, HorrorTown. Say hello to your new king.
Yet we still don't have him on his crown, so, you know, Philoscarometer. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you completed the storybook, so go ahead and grind yourself to get that book. Although I don't need to, or the book prize, but I don't need to because I already got it down, so. But still, that's kind of a dink move. But yeah, okay, here you go. I filled it up for you. There, I filled up the Screamometer, so I don't need to do that no more. Who am I kidding? Anyways, I'm gonna go back to some old screenshots because I forgot.
Oh no. Slappy's King of HorrorTown? I'd gladly give Johnson her charge back instead of this. This is all my fault. No, Ramon, it's not your fault. It's that kid Connor's fault. Look, there he is coming with those TV hosts. I'm sure he was behind the disappearance too. Come here, kid.
Ouch! Stop it! It wasn't my fault! I didn't do anything!
Oh no. I better leave quickly before everyone finds out.
It was him! That Zarwid guy! He locked us up in the Be Afraid world!
Let's get him! Wait a minute. Where is he? He just disappeared into thin air!
I can't believe what HorrorTown has come to. Slappy, King of HorrorTown? Nothing good can come out of this.
Mom, the phone's ringing. Would you get it?
Hello, Mayor. Mrs. Johnson here.
Hello, Johnson. Don't be upset. I can help you defeat Slappy and save HorrorTown.
Save HorrorTown? Wait a second. Who is this?
You can just call me RL. Now listen carefully, Mrs. Johnson.
Lied, the typewriter. Yes, I'm doing the Jack Black version of RL because, let's be honest, that's the one. That's what they want you to have RL be, is the Jack Black version. So I've decided to voice him and apply the typewriter. That's from the mobile / Dead of Night game. So there's that. Also, fun fact for the phone ringing bit, that was actually the birthday blowers that I ended up doing. That I had sound effects for. I forgot to record one for phone ringing, and I was too lazy to look it up online. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's be creative. Let's do this.
Well, hello there, player. It's nice to be back. I'm sure you've had your fun with those annoying hosts, but I guess they couldn't handle the fear of HorrorTown's narrations. Luckily, no card games can get under my skin. Because I don't have any. Now, what will happen to HorrorTown with Slappy as its king? And who's this mysterious RL offering Mayor help? Will she be able to save town? Lots of enigmas and yet to be solved. But one thing remains clear. That I'm the best narrator in town and no one can replace me!
And Be Afraid is finally done. Hooray, that nightmare is now over. Kind of. I still have to do the book thing, despite me already getting the prize, but you know. It shouldn't be too hard to get, because I have to just keep on spawning the, this guy. And eventually I did actually do it, so now I can finish the book and be done with it. One thing that was interesting, though, is just a few... before I end it off, I might as well talk about what's going to go on next type of deal, but... whatever. So we got that going on here. So what I'm going to end it off on is I'm going to show you what this actually appeared to me sometime in July. I'm not sure when, but for me, this is what the new bundle of the future of 2021. So it came in a dungeon pack, so this is what it looked like. Though I don't know why you would get this, because technically it's part of the special book, and I don't think this comes with its... or it might have actually come with its thing. I'm not sure what exactly the purpose of this was, but yeah, that bundle came out of nowhere during July. I'm trying to think when exactly did it come in July. It probably came up in second here. Actually, on the week of Canada Day / so the first week of July. So that was the first bundle that came in there. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's the revisit special for the Be Afraid book. And it's quite fun. A lot better than my rage-inducing one back in there. The other... back in July of 2020. But let's pretend that didn't happen. But, yeah. So, that's it from me. When we come back, hopefully we'll continue on with the more stuff. Whether that be... the collection, if I ever come back and when I get my the Chiller's house, maybe, or maybe I'll come back with one of the other revisit specials. That would be fun. Or hey, maybe I'll come back with something new. Who knows? We have to wait and see. But until then, I've been Grim, and I'll be seeing you next time. So remember to vote, because it is your right. Because if you don't, you can't complain.